His anger sated, he moved off again, picking a more careful route through the heat shadows. As a member of the 10th house of the city, Dinin could go where he pleased within the great cavern without question, but Matron Malice had made it clear that no one connected to House Duerden was to be caught anywhere near the mushroom grove. Matron Malice, Dinin's mother, was not to be crossed. But it was only a rule after all. In Menzoberranzan, one rule took precedence over all other petty others. Don't get caught. At the mushroom's grove's southern end, the impetuous drow found what he was looking for. A cluster of 5 huge floor-to-ceiling pillars that were hollowed out into a network of chambers and connected with metal and stone parapets and bridges. Red glowing gargoyles, the standard of the house, glared down from 100 perches like silent sentries. This was House de Vere, 5th house of Menzoberranzan. A stockade of tall mushrooms ringed the palace, every 5th one a shrieker, a sentient fungus named and favored as guardians for the shrill cries of alarm it emitted whenever a living being passed by it. Dinin kept a cautious distance, not wanting to set off one of the shriekers, and knowing also that the other, more deadly wards protected the fortress. Matron Malice would see to those. An expectant hush permeated the air of the city section. It was general knowledge throughout Menzoberranzan that Matron Jimfei of House de Vere had fallen out of favor with Loth, the Spider Queen deity to all drow and the true source of every house's strength. Such circumstances were never openly discussed among the drow, but everyone who knew fully expected that some family lower in the city hierarchy soon would strike out against the crippled House de Vere. Matron Ginfei and her family had been the last to learn of the Spider Queen's displeasure. Ever was that Loth's devious way, and Dinin could tell just by scanning the outside of House de Vere that the doomed family had not found sufficient time to erect proper defenses. De Vere sported nearly 400 soldiers, many female, but those that Dinin could now see at their posts along the parapets seemed nervous and unsure. Dinin's smile spread even wider when he thought of his own house, which grew in power daily under the cunning guidance of Matron Malice. With all 3 of his sisters rapidly approaching the status of High Priestess, his brother an accomplished wizard, and his uncle Zachanephin, the finest weapons master in all of Menzoberranzan, busily training the 300 soldiers, House Duerden was a complete force, and Matron Malice, unlike Ginfei, was in the Spider Queen's full favor. Dierman Nashabernan, Dinin murmured under his breath, using the formal and ancestral reference to House Duerden. 9th house of Menzoberranzan. He liked the sound of that. Halfway across the city, beyond the silver-glowing balcony and the arched doorway 20 feet up the cavern's west wall, sat the principals of House Duerden, gathered to outline the final plans of the night's work. On the raised dais at the back of the small audience chamber sat venerable Matron Malice, her belly swollen in the final hours of pregnancy. Flanking her in their places of honor were her 3 daughters, Maya, Vierna, and the eldest, Briza, a newly ordained high priestess of Loth. Maya and Vierna appeared as younger versions of their mother, slender and deceptively small, though possessing great strength. Briza, though, hardly carried the family resemblance. She was big, huge by drow standards, and rounded in the shoulders and hips. Those who knew Briza well figured that her size was merely a circumstance of her temperament. A smaller body could not have contained the anger and brutal streak of House Duerden's newest high princess. "Dinin should return soon," remarked Rizin, the present patron of the family, "to let us know if the time is right for the assault." "We go before Narbando finds its morning glow," Briza snapped at him in her thick but razor-sharp voice. She turned a crooked smile to her mother, seeking approval for putting the male in his place. "The child comes this night," Matron Malice explained to her anxious husband. We go no matter what news Dinin bears. It'll be a boy child, groaned Briza, making no effort to hide her disappointment. Third living son of House Duorden.